Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. We are the group 2 and I am Rosie Agbones, and we also have Miss Jeline Gagolada and also Mr. Adolfo Domoran. So for today, we will be discussing the following topic under ICT Conventional Teaching Learning Materials. We are given 3, and those are the conventional learning materials, digital resources, and also the distant learning. So before we will begin, we all noticed the changes in educational settings, from the teaching learning environment to the teacher's rule down to the changes in media application. And through the topic that we will be discussing today, you will be able to understand deeper and know more about the evolution of resources used in educational settings. And now let's begin with the conventional learning materials. And for that, we have Miss Jeline Cagolada.
Conventional learning materials in ICT. What is conventional? According to vocabulary.com, conventional is an adjective for things that are normal, traditional, and following the accepted way. So what are the conventional learning materials? For example, in traditional classroom setting, we have the usual teaching aids like blackboards, textbooks, charts, and etc. But in ICT, we have the audiovisuals like slides, films, real objects, video, multimedia, 3D, digitals, and for electronic interactives, we have like computers, graphing calculators, and tablets.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jeline. Now let's move on to the digital resources. So what is digital resources? Digital resources is any resources that are in a digital form that engage students' learning activities and support students' learning goals. This could be an application, audio recording, blog, bibliography, thesis, dictionary, downloadable data, and etc. So basically, this could be a software, a program, and a website. Please note that hardware and infrastructure needed to use the digital resources is not included. So, what are the digital resources we students often use? First is the research paper posted online. This could be used, or we used it as our review of related literature. We also used it as a defend when we have a debate. Next is the blog. So blog where it provides us an answer to our certain question, for example. Then next is application. So for application, we have the Microsoft Word and other things that allows us to gather knowledge or educational related information. For example, application like the English dictionary, or application like those things that are related to English, so we can gather information from that. Now, how did these conventional learning materials different from digital resources? Okay, most conventional learning materials like tablets gave us an access on the digital resources. In other words, conventional learning materials are the physical materials used for learning. This can be touched. Digital resources, while on the other side, digital resources can be seen, read, hear, accessible, but cannot be touched. I'm not saying that the conventional learning materials cannot be read. They also can be read, but they can be touched, while the digital resources cannot be touched. One might say that, excuse me, I can touch the laptop, I can touch my mobile phone, my cellular phone. Well, dear, what I am saying is that that's not the resources we are referring to. Laptop and cellular phones is used for us to access the digital resources. For example, your cell phone, you have the Google, and by the Google, you can have the digital resources you needed. For example, the research paper posted online. Digital resources can be accessed anywhere and everywhere through network, while conventional learning materials are not. However, if we remember face-to-face classes, in traditional educational settings, we are rarely able to access the digital resources because the use of mobile phones are limited. Sometimes we are only able to depend on the knowledge shared by the teachers or the reporters. Take this as an example. During the discussion or after the discussion, we are given questions to answer, and the things that we shared or our answers are limited only to the things that we understood or to the knowledge that the reporters or the teachers have shared. But before everything, let's have Ms. Jeline Cagolada to discuss our next topic, the distant learning.
ICT and distant learning. The third generation of distant education relies on interactive, electronic, and computer-based ICTs to impart information and facilitate interaction between students and teachers, as well as between students and other students. You can use platforms to communicate with students and enhance educational experiences at school or at home, like Google Classroom, Google Meet, Zoom, Edmodo, Edulastic, EduPlanet 21, and ClassMax. But the popular ones are the Google Meet, Google Classroom, and Zoom. The use of information and communication technology, or ICT, can help to overcome these limitations, especially now that we are dealing with the pandemic. They are made available to distant learners at every stage of the learning process. In distant learning, ICT allows for face-to-face communication and improves information sharing and learning. Thank you!
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jeline Cagolada. But before we will end this discussion, I would like to say something, especially for the last topic, the distant learning. Though distant learning is quite challenging for us all, however, this gave us the opportunity or a greater opportunity to be more flexible. We no longer rely much on the information given by the teachers, and we, students, become more independent, which can be considered as a great practice for us of becoming more self-reliant. And that's all with the topic. Now we are done with those 3 topics, and hopefully you gained something from us today. It will be sad to consider, but we have to end our discussion here. That's all, and good morning once again.